20 simple and fun outdoor games, with and without equipment. What to play with children and friends, except bouncers and crocodile. Picnic on the beach or in the woods, barbecue and country gatherings. What to do with a noisy company so that kids don't get bored. And adults feel like children again in the best sense of the word? We offer 20 active and not so active games that can be played at any age and in any natural locations. Ball games. Games for attention. 1. SABS. Good old classics. The rules are simple. The presenter asks a question loudly and throws the ball to the player 3 times, offering 3 possible answers. If the player likes the option, he catches the ball; if not, he hits it. If the ball is hit all 3 times, the last answer is considered correct. Also, one of the 3 times the presenter can say, SABS. And if the player catches the ball, he has the right to give an answer on his own. The questions are most often the simplest, for example, what is your name, who do you work for, etc. Complicate, as a memory training. You can ask young children after the game to remember all their answers and tell the resulting story based on them. 2. Edible and inedible, as well as other variations of SABS. The range of questions in such games is limited to a specific topic. For example, in edible and inedible, the presenter calls different foods or foreign objects and throws a ball. The player must catch it if something edible is named, and repel it if it cannot be eaten. In the game Who Was Who, you need to catch the ball and quickly answer the question. Example, who was the cow? Calf. Older children and adults will be more interested in the option when they need to come up with a rhyme to the named leading word when hitting the ball. The advantages of such games, they can be conducted in a humorous way, and at the same time develop memory and ingenuity by asking trick questions. 3. Potatoes. The game is good for a large company. The participants stand in a circle and quickly throw a ball to each other, acting as a hot potato. The player who dropped the ball must squat down in the center of the circle. To return to his place, he needs to catch a flying potato without getting up on his feet. Other players can save eliminated participants by throwing a ball at one of them. If the ball is caught, everyone returns to the circle. If not, the player who threw the ball himself joins those who are squatting. Complicated, the larger the circle and the distance between the participants, the more interesting it is to play. You can also not throw the ball, but hit it, as in volleyball. Active games. 4. Bouncers. One of the most popular outdoor games. On the ground, at a distance of several meters, you need to draw 2 lines parallel to each other. 2 bouncers stand behind the lines, and players stand between them. Bouncers throw the ball, aiming at the players at the same time. The participant, touched by the ball, leaves the field. Accordingly, the task of the players is to dodge the ball, and the goal of the bouncers is to knock out all the players one by one. When the last participant remains on the field, he must dodge the ball as many times as he is old. 5. Volleyball. If there is a net in the park or on the beach, you can play by all the rules, split into teams of 3 to 5 players each, serve and hit the ball, keep score. Points are counted if one of the opponents missed the ball, touched the net with his hand or ball, entered someone else's territory or ran out of the playing area, as well as in case of an unsuccessful serve. However, it is quite possible to play amateur volleyball without a net. It is enough to stand in a circle and serve each other and hit the ball in the same way. And if the place allows, you can also play a team game by drawing a conditional line that will act as a grid. 6. Pioneer ball. A simple analog of volleyball. The main difference is that you don't need to hit the ball, but catch it. After that, you must either immediately throw the ball to the opponent's side, or pass the pass to another player from your team. You can't touch the ball more than twice. Toss it and catch it yourself. Ideally, Pioneer ball also needs a playground with a grid, but you can also play a simplified version without it. Games that require inventory. Let's continue our list of games that require special inventory. Don't worry, all components are light, small, and will fit into any sports bag or backpack. 7. Frisbee. A plastic plate can be thrown to each other in a circle, or you can compete who will throw it further. 8. Badminton. A classic game for summer holidays. Do not forget that it needs windless weather. 9. Twister. Why not? The playing field for the twister can be placed both on the ground and on the sand, and falling in case of defeat is much more pleasant in the grass than on a hard floor. The main rule: the more players, the more fun. The moderator says what color circle each player needs to put his hand or foot on. The task of the participants is to stand in a bizarre pose. 10. Darts. The target can be attached to any tree to practice accuracy. Darts is good both as a team game and as an individual competition. You can also inflate several balloons, glue them with double-sided tape to a piece of cardboard and throw darts at them. You will get a homemade shooting gallery in nature. 11. Launch the glider. A foam glider plane takes up little space, is inexpensive, but attracts 100% of both children and adults. You can master new launch techniques, make the glider dive or make a circle in the air, or you can arrange competitions for the longest, long flight of the aircraft. 12. We launch a kite. Launching a snake requires certain skills, but it makes learning to control it all together even more fun. 13. The battle on water pistols. A great analog of paintball in the heat. We charge a lot of pistols with water and arrange a battle. The losers will be seen by the wet spots on their clothes. Games without inventory. If you don't have a ball or any other sports or gaming equipment, it doesn't matter. There are many interesting games that require nothing but a good mood. 14. The sea is agitated once. Everyone knows the game from childhood. The presenter recites a poem, you already know him, right? While he says, "The sea is worried," everyone is running around and fooling around, or doing adult things. But at the word freeze, the players freeze in different poses. Further options are possible. You cannot depict any figures, but just stand still. Who moved, he lost. The presenter can deliberately slow down and provoke frozen participants, tickle or make them laugh. The presenter can touch the frozen player, and he must begin to depict a sea figure or any other living creature with the help of movements. The task of the presenter is to guess what the participant is showing. 15. I know 5 names. Ideally, a ball is needed for this game, but it can be replaced with claps or blows on the knee. A topic is selected, such as names. The first player says, "I know 5 names." And he quickly calls 5 names, beating off each with a clap. Then the move goes to the next player, and his task is not to repeat. Complicate, choose not just 5 names, but 5 female names, not 5 animals, but 5 predators, etc. 16. Crocodile. A game that is equally interesting to play for both adults and children. It is necessary to explain the hidden word with gestures and movements, without words. According to the classics, you can divide into teams and guess the word to the player of the opposing team. The goal is to solve the puzzle in a certain period of time. You can set a timer for 1 to 3 minutes. However, if there are small children in your company, then the task can be simplified. Then one player depicts the word, and the rest guess it without time limits. Complicate it, you can guess not only nouns, but also verbs, adjectives, and even whole phrases. 17. Contact. The presenter makes a word and calls its first letter. The rest of the participants begin to offer their options and ask leading questions. For example, the presenter guessed the word carousel and voiced its first letter. One of the participants suggested that it was porridge and asked the players who understood what he meant. Shout out, "Contact." And then count out loud to 10 and at the same time say, "Porridge." The task of the presenter is also to guess what it is about and say the word porridge before them. In this case, the participants select other words for the first letter. If the presenter did not guess or did not say anything, then he must voice the second letter of his word, etc. The game goes on until the whole word is solved. 18. Colors. The players stand in a circle. The presenter says, touch the red, 1, 2, 3, and all the participants race to touch any red object in their field of vision. The one who touched last or didn't find the right color is eliminated. For the rest, the game continues with a new color. Complicating matters, the presenter can name specific items. A yellow bracelet, of course, one of the participants should have it, a white sneaker, etc.
For this game, you will need leaves and a pen. You can take napkins from the table, and someone will probably have a pen in their bag. On each piece of paper, participants write the name of the subject, the name of a celebrity, or the hero of the film. It is even better if it is done by a person who will not play later. Then the leaves are turned over and mixed. The players take the pieces of paper and, without looking, fix them on their forehead, so that the inscription is visible to others. The game goes in a circle. The goal of each participant is to guess the word on his piece of paper. To do this, you need to ask other players leading questions that can only be answered with yes or no. For example, am I a human or an animal? 20. Cities. You can play cities while you are setting the table, pitching a tent, or laying out fishing gear. The first player says the name of the city. The next participant picks up the baton. Each new name must begin with the letter with which the previous one ended.